Hello and welcome to this session. Today we'll be discussing about extended essay in environmental systems and societies. And to start off, I just want to alert you that there are three areas where interdisciplinary extended essays can be undertaken, and that is ESS, and literature and performance, and world studies. Extended essays in these areas give students an opportunity to undertake an in-depth and independent investigation on a topic of their choice that considers relationship between two subjects. And I want to stress that the subjects chosen in these interdisciplinary areas must be subjects being offered at the diploma level. So it's very important that you think about the topic and which areas or which topics you have studied in your subjects in diploma that can help you to get ideas that will help you to write a good extended essay. Now let's go back to environmental systems and societies, because that is the main focus for my session. And the most important thing to note here is that ESS is purely an interdisciplinary subject. It is a subject that integrates ideas from Group 3, that is individuals and societies, and Group 4, which is basically sciences. So you'll be able to undertake an investigation that cuts across or integrate ideas from these subjects, methodologies, theories, and even your own knowledge from what you have learned in science and humanities. Okay. Another point to note is that in ESS there must be what we refer to as systems approach. Okay, and in this case, you must be able to look at human systems and the way they interact with environmental systems. So apart from just integrating ideas, theories, and methodologies from Group 3 and Group 4 subjects, you are also thinking critically about environmental issues that have anything to do with humans and their interaction with the physical or natural environment. So there are so many issues arising at the moment, and each one of them has an input from humans. We talk about pollution, we talk about global warming, we talk about depletion of resources, we talk about increase in population that leads to unsustainable use of natural resources. All those has an aspect of natural environment, and on the other side an aspect of human systems. It might even be the way people do farming, and how does their farming or food production system impact the environment where they live. Maybe they are using unsustainable means of producing their food. We know that there are so many societies that consume meat, but we don't know that production of meat involves emission of a lot of methane into the environment, and methane is a greenhouse gas because livestock will do a lot of stuff, including fatting of cows, and these will release immense amount of methane in the environment. And the production of food for these livestock will also be very harmful to the environment. So think critically about the topic that you are choosing and ask yourself, does it involve interaction between humans and their environment? If it doesn't, then it's not a good topic to explore. Another important point to note is that the essay must be argumentative. In fact, it is recommended that you write an essay that is discursive. Okay, and discursive means that you are analyzing your information and coming up with ideas that show both sides of the coin. You are creating an analytical argument. You're not just writing a story, you're not just narrating. You're trying to evaluate the strategies that for instance, people are using to solve climate change. Okay, can they work? Have they worked? What has been their pros and what has been their cons? Okay, so those are some of the considerations that you must make when choosing a topic in ESS. Another important thing is that you can carry out investigation from primary sources, or you can carry investigation from purely secondary sources, or you can integrate primary and secondary sources of information. So there is no limitation here. You are not told that you must only do an experiment for you to be able to write a very good extended essay. No, you must be able to decide from the onset whether you are going to do an experiment, whether you are going to integrate primary sources with secondary sources, or whether you are going to do an investigation based purely on secondary sources. There are some do's and don'ts when it comes to environmental systems and societies, and one of them is that students must not have the same research question for their EE Extended Essay in ESS and use the same topic for writing their IA in the subject. And not just in ESS, your extended essay topic and research question must not be undertaken in any of your subject's IAs. That's called double dipping. Double dipping is not recommended in the IB. Secondly, is that you must be able to consider topics that are suitable. There are some topics that are considered unsuitable either from an ethical perspective or from a safety standpoint. For instance, any investigation or any activity that involves inflicting pain on a living organism is not allowed. Secondly, causing unwarranted harm to the environment, like when you are doing an experiment that involves pathogens, and these pathogens can actually jump into the environment and cause grave harm to living species, that's not allowed. If you're going to use toxins that will eventually cause harm to living organisms and natural environments, like you're discharging your waste from the experiment into the environment and this is likely to cause harm, then you'll be in trouble. Don't do that kind of a topic. Number 3 is that you should not put pressure on others to behave unethically. Okay? Your investigation must be ethical in all aspects. And number 4 is that, especially while you are collecting information from secondary sources, there must be a clear understanding that you cannot use other people's information without acknowledging it. Okay? And this is across all extended essays, that there must be a clear understanding from the beginning that your work must be done in such a way that you are acknowledging other people's academic contribution, and you reference and cite information in an appropriate manner. If you're able to do that, then your extended essay will be good. So we consider, you can actually come up with a mind map to consider those things. That number 1, your extended essay must be able to integrate ideas, theories, knowledge, and methodologies from both group 3 and group 4. It cannot be purely on one topic or one subject like biology or geography. No, you must be able to show some ideas coming from geography, some ideas coming from biology or chemistry. 2 is that the topic must be able to show that systems approach, that humans do not exist in isolation. They exist in their natural environment, and they interact in many different ways. The environment also influence people's way of life. Okay, so we get water from the environment. Okay, and the environment can also benefit from our actions. Okay, we also get food from the environment, so soil is an important component, and we must be able to take care of that soil so that it does not become damaged unnecessarily. So that's number two, that there must be a systems approach integrated in the idea. Number three is that the essay must be analytical. You must be able to create an analytical argument through the analysis and interpretation of data. Okay, and lastly is that you can collect data from primary and secondary sources. I'm repeating so that you can be able to comprehend these things. Okay, so that is when you are considering your topic. You can even come up with a mind map that will be able to show your input in coming up with a topic and an appropriate topic. So those should act as your checklist for choosing a good topic in environmental systems. The don'ts, okay, don't write your extended essay in ESS and use the same research question for your IA in the subject or any other IA. Secondly, no inflicting pain on living organisms, no causing unwarranted environmental damage, and no putting pressure on others to behave unethically. And remember to cite your sources. Thank you so much.